Hello everyone, my name is Moji and you're watching Bitcoin Bubble News Channel. A lot of what I can do now in Canada. Still, it's not simple to use Bitcoin anywhere. You could say I'm 100% Bitcoin in some places, but it's hard to say that here because of these circular systems. But there's a problem known as the blockchain trilemma. That says you have to pick two of three options: decentralization, security, or scale. So Bitcoins are the answer to security and decentralization, and even now it's the only thing that's decentralized and safe, and it's getting even more decentralized and safe every year. You can see this by looking at mining, hash power, energy backing the network, or any other means. The crypto economy has grown by $623 billion in just 7 months, or 236 days. The market value of Bitcoin, the most valuable cryptocurrency, went up by more than $20,000. The market value of Ethereum, the second most valuable cryptocurrency, went up by $473. The crypto market's net value grew by 36% between January 1st, 2024 and August 24th, 2024. This growth was caused by large amounts of money coming into the market. The value of Tether USDT also went up from $91.70 billion to $117.75 billion. Jeff Booth is a well-known author and supporter of Bitcoin. Podcaster Pola talked to him about the fast growth of Bitcoin. Booth stressed how important early adoption was in the Bitcoin environment, saying that the market is still young, even though it is growing. He talked about how important security and decentralization are, as well as the problems that come from rival cryptocurrencies. Booth talked about his experience using Bitcoin in Canada and pushed more people to use it every day. He said that wider adoption could change the way the market works, where people are currently rushing to buy traditional assets like real estate. To show this, he said that his land would only be worth 22 Bitcoin now if he had traded it for 300 Bitcoin years ago. But Booth thinks that as Bitcoin becomes more popular, more businesses will start to accept it, which will speed up its growth even more. Watch clips from the interview to learn more about Jeff Booth's talk. If you want to see more videos like this one, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post alerts. Have fun with the movie. If someone wants to do what they want to do, I don't tell them to or judge them for it. And if someone wants to use older Bitcoins, my friend Troy Cross tells a story about how he wanted alpaca socks, which I love. Also, I believe each pair of wool socks cost 20 Bitcoin. He also bought about 6 sets of alpaca socks. He meant to use Bitcoin, so this goes back a long time. Now, those socks cost a lot of money, like $4 or $5 million socks, plus the story is great. The same story as the pizza one. In the same way that someone would sell a lot of Bitcoin for a house. In other words, this shift depends on when you think you want something. It's okay, and you should be able to make the change whenever you want. Because sometimes the choice isn't about money, it's about what's best for your family or something else. Why do you spend money in the first place? You should be able to use it for anything. As an example, let's look at your house. In the manipulated system, we know that money loses value faster than houses do. So a house is no longer used as money, but as a source of value. So if it's used as a store of value and no one can get out of managed money, the house stops being a place to raise your family and turns into a store of value. We are still very early in the Bitcoin acceptance process. People whose minds aren't as deep will still be blown by this talk. That means Bitcoin use is still very new. That means that if you wanted to trade your Bitcoin for something like the house I'm sitting in now, it would have cost 300 Bitcoin. This year, the price of this house is 22 Bitcoin. In real terms, the house is worth more than it was before. It now costs 22. This house will likely be worth 2 Bitcoin in 4 years. Right now at any time, and by the way, that's also why this keeps going out to if you had a lot of Bitcoin. Since you want to use this and buy other things, you will always be spending more than what you're adding to the free market and giving away your Bitcoins. So, unlike the current financial system, which puts most of the money, control, and power in a small group of people, this system constantly gives that to everyone. And everyone has the freedom to choose when they want to spend more than they have or what they are worth. Also, who cares? Every day I spend my Bitcoin. I spend my money on Nostr and Zaps. I spend it on, and if a service or product takes Bitcoin, I will make sure to use it. So I try to spend Bitcoin every day, even though I know it will be worth more later. I'm just putting my time and energy into making the world a better place. This is because more people doing that will lead to more vendors taking those vendors, which will speed up the ecosystem's growth. In that case, do you then change your money back into Bitcoin, say Canadian dollars? Do you have a plan? Yes. So you're always getting new ones. If I lose one, I'll just buy another one. Jeff Booth talked about his experiences with Bitcoin and said that while it has become more popular in some places, it is still not widely accepted around the world. He strongly encouraged others to use Bitcoin and other decentralized technologies. He stressed that security and decentralization are two important parts of creating a strong and reliable financial system. Booth also talked about the problems with other cryptocurrencies, saying that in order to be scalable, many of them give up security or decentralization. Without any reservations, he said that he was sure that as the Bitcoin protocol continued to change, new features would be added that would make it even more useful and strengthen its place as the foundation of a future financial ecosystem. To learn more from Jeff Booth, let's go back to the talk and watch more clips. As much as I can, it's still hard to spend Bitcoin everywhere in Canada. You could say I'm 100% Bitcoin in some places, but it's hard to say that here because of these circular systems. But I want to do it, and I do what I can to make it happen. And I use it as my main phone when I'm traveling in many of these places. And I think even more so in those words, and if you would like a. In thinking this way as I'll be in this system one day and in the other system the next. When you listen to this show, I wouldn't think about that. You don't need to do that. Just move forward. Learn how to run a node if you're not already doing it. Check out Nostr if you haven't already. It's a decentralized, safe, and truly free way to interact and see what it looks like. Go to some meetups if you want to find other people who are doing the same thing. There will be a flood of chances for you. Why are all altcoins going away? Finding signal in a noisy world, a piece I wrote, says it better than I can. Or, I'm sorry, I'd like to say it really quickly. When it comes to decentralization, security, and scale, you have to pick two of those three. This is known as the blockchain trilemma, so Bitcoin has solved the problems of decentralization and security, and if you want to know how good it is, you can look at mining hash power and the energy that powers the network. There you have it, the only thing that is both decentralized and safe. And every year it gets even more decentralized and safe, but it couldn't grow because of a bug. Let's say you don't have to think too hard, right? The world you live in is measuring Bitcoin. From that world, the fiat object Bitcoin looks like it's going through the roof in price, when in fact we're just changing the prices of everything in Bitcoin. You can't change it though. Also, that's what it's useful for. The value of this is that it recovers the full monetary value of all the financialization in the world and gives it back to people. It's kind of interesting when people say it has no use. So it has the biggest utility ever seen for something, but some people say it doesn't have any utility. But if you looked at it that way, you'd see that it was really outside the system and resetting the world's prices for a lot of people who were gambling or saying, I'm going to make more US dollars at first glance. It seems like I need to make a new Bitcoin. The reason I can't change Bitcoin is this means I have to give up either decentralization or security in order to make growth possible. All of those other coins give up either security or decentralization in order to be scalable. Then everything fails at the right time. So why would you want to use a blockchain that is centralized? Because that's what you're really saying, I'm going to use a pricey database that I own. Another question is how DeFi could be on top of a centralized blockchain that costs a lot. Based on what I just said, it can't work, and neither can the others. However, the piece goes much further than that, and it is important to read or look over that article. But you could see people who meant well.